how does the pink tax affect women who are living in low socioeconomic status or other underrepresented demographic groups or whatever? How can we think about, multiple forms of marginalization and how that relates to your argument?
Yeah, I think we need to obviously have a critical lens for how it affects women, but then we need to make sure that we also have a critical lens for how it affects other groups. So if your financial advisor does not like people of the LGBTQ2S+ community, are you going to feel comfortable going to them and asking questions? Probably not. If you are having a conversation with someone who is a lot older than you and maybe is a different race, they may not be able to help you because they don't understand the challenges that you're having. And we know that any level of intersectionality you add, the wage gap just impacts it more and more. But then anyone who's in a lower socioeconomic class is going to get hit by these things even harder, right? It might be $10. I don't actually know how much a razor is these days, but maybe it's $10 for a razor, which is a very small percentage of someone's paycheck that is of the middle class, but it's going to be a huge portion of someone's that's in a low socioeconomic class. I mean, the same is true. I think it's, who is the author of Invisible Women? She makes the argument for
Creato Paris.
Yeah. So, and also I believe in your course on Coursera, the user fees argument, and that really starts to impact lower income people more because it's just such a large portion of their spending. So we see obviously way less discretionary spending when you have a lower income individual, and a lot more going to kind of everyday necessities. And that can be really challenging if we don't have social systems set up to help those people.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You talk about, like payday loans and things like that. Those
should be illegal. But
yeah, they should be illegal. But they're so wealth destroying because the interest rates are so high and they compound so much. So I think it sounds like when you're in a low socioeconomic class, just making some smart choices about how you're using your money in terms of whether you're getting yourself into a bad situation in terms of like payday loans and things like that can be really important.
But they're so predatory, and they go after people a lot of times, like new immigrants to our country that maybe don't understand our financial situation or financial system, and then these people just get caught in this perpetuation of these. Yes, they're not a great choice, but is it that person's fault? Whereas I think there probably needs to be more policy and more legislation around, what is allowable, and should we have the right, and I say right, to access credit of some form, and what is an appropriate interest rate? And right now, the criminal code, I think it's either 30 or 60% is the maximum you can charge. And I would argue that that's way too high.
Yeah.
I think people should have the ability to access credit, and I think we have to be mindful of what interest rate we're allowing, because if you have people in low incomes who maybe don't have the ability to build a credit score or are new to the country, what interest rate are they getting? They're getting the highest one. And that, again, is so wealth destroying.
Right.